I am all there is. I am all there can be. In the whole universe, there's only one me. And therefore, when I see myself, is when the world sees me. Hello, early bird. You are super early. And I'm aware of the fact that I'm not for everyone. And many people won't understand at first. Because most people want to be seen while they are still hiding. I don't play the game of this world where it dilutes my soul. So it will take some time for me to spread my roots into the grid. But I appreciate you being here. Because the fact that you are here says a lot about who you are. So welcome. Welcome to one of many ways in which I ceremonize my life experience, so you can find your own answers through witnessing me without it being about me, because it's not about me. It is about what moves through me and where it moves you. And if what I share with you, if you let it in, it will not only change the way you think, but it will also recalibrate the way you relate to existing. Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about invisibility and how we can turn that into visibility. Because you weren't born to be a ghost. You are here to be witnessed in the full capacity of who you are. Being visible is not about becoming visible to the public. It is about becoming honest with your own reflection. Because if you are more devoted to a false sense of safety than to the truth of who you are, you become not only invisible to yourself, but also to the world. The fear of visibility isn't only about being seen, it is about the danger of being seen too clearly in all that you are and all that you are not. It's the fear of being seen in a world that does not like the truth. Of being the one that speaks things that others only dare to think. And most of you that are watching are extremely sensitive and gifted. You just never learned how to hold that, and it saddens me to see that. So let's work on that together today. Because people think that staying quiet, agreeable, easy to digest makes them a good person. But spiritual humility isn't about shrinking yourself until there's nothing left. It is about embodying your full essence without needing permission from anybody else. Most people nowadays don't have the emotional architecture to hold their own truth. So they protect themselves from judgment, projections, misunderstanding. That is why most people perform instead of just expressing who they truly are. But they rarely get the recognition that they actually crave. Visibility is not about confidence. Visibility is the permission to fully exist, and most people don't give themselves that permission. People often want attention without responsibility, because once the world starts to see you, they start expecting things from you. Consistency, honesty, integrity, leadership. And it's easier to stay in a place where no one demands anything from you, including yourself. Because of that, most people choose to stay invisible, not only to the world, but also in their own lives, because they don't trust themselves to hold the weight that comes with being seen. A big part of that is the world that we live in, because when you start showing yourself, your visibility exposes the invisibility of others, leading to a lot of projections. But people are not fighting against you. They're fighting against discomfort within the self. Most people lack emotional intelligence. They think they have a monopoly on the truth. That is where all problems come from. Instead of opening ourselves up to learn more from each other, it always puts a smile on my face when I see people trying. And it makes me so proud of people that I don't even know. I don't understand why it's so hard to just be happy for each other, to encourage each other, to show each other that it is safe to be seen, that you are valued. After being completely from social media for 5 years, coming back only a few months ago, I've been observing a lot. And honestly, it's both the best and the worst place. The amount of projections that people throw at others is unreal. Can you imagine having the time to go around on the internet, judging others so you can get off and feel better about yourself? That's not a position you want to be in. Being a scary lurker with a profile pic of a car, running your mouth. And if you dig a little deeper, you're like, if I was you, I would focus myself on that last brain cell that's trying to hang on for dear life. You have better things to worry about, my friends. Welcome to my inner space. But it's an interesting use of free will. Let me put it at that. With that being said, let's move a little through my inner space so you can get an idea of the journey and how I've managed to turn things around. When it comes to me, I've never felt truly seen in my life. My own family rejected me. There was no love, no softness, no honesty, no loyalty, only pain. The people that should love me and protect me almost completely destroyed me. It was tough. It was very tough. And I don't say I was perfect as a child growing up, but my intentions were pure. I wanted the best for everyone, and I always tried. But my environment was extremely toxic. Extremely toxic. Most people will never understand how toxic it was. Luckily. For the longest time of my life, I felt that I did not matter at all. My mother was a struggling single mother of 10 children, and from the age of 1, I was the only one that was consistently opting in and out the family system. And the only time I felt seen by my mother was when she left me. It was very confusing. I never had one-on-one time with my mother. A simple hug, I love you, or even a look in the eyes or anything. For the longest time, I didn't really know who my mother was, other than an angry, unsafe, dangerous woman. It wasn't until I got a little older that I figured that she was actually very intelligent, psychic even. She saw things that others didn't, but she was extremely damaged and addicted. And that combination, yeah. And if you ever see this, ma, I don't want to hurt you at all. I still care about you. And I'm already very cautious about what I share. I don't blame you because I get it. I do get it. But you are a big part of my story. And I'm here to speak the truth, to turn that story into medicine for others. It's not about us. But back to the story. Every time she left me, we had our little moment together. And it was very confusing because those were the only moments that I felt connected to her. In those little moments, she would be a completely different person. She would hug me, tell me she loved me. And then she left me behind, in tears, in total despair, complete hopelessness. More times than you can ever imagine. Man, okay. I thought I already had that part. But, some people say if you still cry about things, you haven't healed it. That's absolutely not true. It's the biggest bullcrap ever. Healing isn't linear. It is about giving the space to old versions of yourself as much as needed and just being there for them so the memory can travel through your system without it getting stuck. So back to the story. She left me, despair, complete hopelessness, more times you can imagine. And I always asked myself, was that the person that she really was beneath all the pain? Or did she just feel guilty for leaving me? But it was bleh. But it was through those little moments that I could connect to a human side. And I just wanted to hold on to that forever. But it was never there when I needed it. All I knew was that I just wanted to stay with her. And I don't know why, because he didn't feel safe, and home didn't feel like home. I never felt welcome when I got back. But I didn't want to be anywhere else because it was the only home that I knew. My whole life, I felt like I was some sort of project. I was thrown around like a lab rat, as if I was an object that needed to be tested because it was never seen before. And everyone was always analyzing me and watching me, but they all failed to see me. Life always felt like a complete freefall. I was barely 4 and I already felt broken beyond repair. There was no ground beneath me, nothing to grab onto. It was just me in my own misery every day. I remember a day when I was a kid that I got an apple from home and I took it with me to the border school. And I kept the middle of the apple with me until it was molded and I had to throw it away with tears in my eyes because I wanted to hold on to something. I've had no youth, no nice memories, nobody wanted me, nobody saw me, nobody loved me. Out of 4, there was one foster carriage family that I must give credit, because they really did their best, but nothing could fix the brokenness I felt inside of me. But that was the same family that also disappeared out of nothing when I was 13 years old. And like 11 years later, we got in contact again. It had something to do with my mother, but that doesn't take away the fact that there was no goodbye. This is what the CPS wrote about me as a kid. 10,000 pages of absolute nonsense. Projections, misunderstanding, the inability to see the root of things. This isn't even everything. He refused to print the whole thing. And I don't blame him. Everything they saw in me, I am not. All of this is what they saw in me without ever truly seeing me. If you know what they did to me throughout my whole life, that's why I will never respect parents that don't take their responsibility. I don't care about the reason. Close your legs. Keep your children out of the system. You choose them. Take your responsibility. Devote yourself to them with love, even if you have to sacrifice yourself. That's how it works. Oh yeah, and I don't do disclaimers and all that shit. If you cannot hold the truth, or at least someone else's truth, and you don't want to work on your ability to hold things with nuance and context, this is not your place. I'm tired of explaining myself. Op sodemietere. Later on, I worked myself all the way up to work for the CPS in crisis intervention to make sure that there was someone that saw the kids. I must say, a lot has changed. From what I saw, inside, there were a lot of people that actually did their best. Throughout the years, they had to change a lot because there was a lot of commotion around certain things when it came to the CPS. And I did what I had to do there until I almost got stabbed. But the circle was round. Working there healed something within me. Throughout my life, I always felt that people projected things on me, trying to test me, put me in a corner. But no one knew me. Not because I didn't want to be fully known by the people I love, but to know is to understand, and most people don't understand me. Or they don't want to, because what it would ask from them. From the age of 1, I was always told that I was the problem. I was oversensitive, I was overreacting. But if people tell you enough that you are the problem, you start to believe it and become it. But it was because they lacked the capability to look at themselves and to see me for who I am. I'm a mirror and an amplifier of my environment. Let's reevaluate. Now I've stepped away from it all, and we are years further down the line. And literally nothing has changed. It's interesting to me. Maybe I wasn't that crazy after all. I just wanted to be seen for who I really was, and nobody gave me that. I've always seen the soul behind the flesh, always. And a big part of feeling like I had to numb myself for most of my life is to stop seeing things that I didn't want to see. Because a lot of people are too far gone, and it worries me. I soon came to realize that most people don't want to be seen. They think they want to, but only on their terms and conditions. When it comes to truly being seen, most are opting out, running away. And now I understand what my energy does. I'm a deconstructor. I see through things most people don't. And with that, I also see people in their pain, their masks, their armors. That's terrifying for people that live behind this perfectly created image. Emotional avoidance, denial. So what do? They diminish me in their mind so they can feel safer within their own way of being, convincing themselves that I am the problem. I am overreacting. I am dramatic. But I rarely overreact. It's just that I feel and see things that others don't. And for a long time, I thought that was normal. I had to learn how to deal with that. If you see people in ways they have never been seen before, they rather minimize you in their head so they don't have to fix their own integrity gap. But they know, and they will carry that discomfort of two conflicting parts within the self. One that deeply craves to be seen because it knows how much growth can come from it, and another part that wants to run away from it. Because to be seen on that level requires a kind of self-honesty most people are simply not ready for. I'm at a point that I don't need validation at all. What I would like to get is a little appreciation. To get to this point, to still be here and choose to show up for the world. But even if people don't appreciate it, I don't make it mean anything about me. Because for some, it's indeed too confronting, too real. It triggers the things that they rather hide in the dark. I can understand that. And that's okay. We don't all want the same things. That's why I've created my own world, so that people who are ready can visit that. If it doesn't resonate, just don't watch me. It's that simple. Baby kan de was doen. It's that simple. But at the same time, there might be people that don't need what I have to offer. But if you don't need it, and you are in full integrity, why would what I do or say even trigger you? In that case, the things I say should be a confirmation that you are on the right track, that you are doing very well for yourself in life, not a trigger. All I do is ask honest and reflective questions about my human experience, about the world within me and the world around me. And I share what I found along the way. The truth doesn't need to be defended, and it doesn't mind being questioned. So if someone gets triggered by that, they might be disconnected from their own truth in some kind of way. That's not for me to deal with. Stop testing and labeling me, trying to tap dance around your own avoidance. Don't try to figure me out. Sometimes you just have to let things be what they are. Just enjoy me while I'm still here. Don't logic it away. Just feel what my presence does with you. Especially when it feels uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with me, something within you that needs attention. Focus. I know exactly which people would try to attack me, twist my words, call me judgmental, or anything to discredit me. I know exactly why they move the way they do. But I know who I am. I have nothing to prove. I lead with embodiment. I lead with soul. And I'm highly protected while doing it. Getting in my way will haunt people for the rest of their lives and after. So good luck with that. For a long time I was scared to speak up because of soul remembrance. There was a lot of fear I had to move through on a soul level. I will share another breakthrough when it comes to this soon. But the point for now is the energetic structure behind it, because being visible might get you killed. Even still today. And if there are people that think that it's some kind of fantasy, they are very much behind. I had to learn how to move strategically without losing my truth. But if I would ever get chopped for the things I share, I accept that. Shoot me. That's the easy way out. Next to that, when it comes to visibility, I just wasn't proud of who I was. I was partying, using drugs. I was deeply insecure and ashamed of myself because I knew that I was wasting every bit of my human potential. And at the same time, I did that because I was forcing myself into a world that I didn't fit in. I got my first glitches of remembrance when I was only 6 years old. I felt very much trapped within this life. And throughout my life, I had to fall back to sleep many times because there was no place for me in this world. It's still catching up today. I was so sensitive to all the energies around me that I had to knock my own system out. Numbing, dissociating, and becoming invisible to myself, while having an excuse to stay invisible to the world. You have to learn that there is a difference between how people see you and how you see yourself. Because what people see is not you. They see their own level of awareness. It's not you. And hiding yourself will never be the solution to people that lack the emotional immaturity to digest their own projections, that lack the bandwidth to deal with their own insecurities. I'm very aware of the fact that I'm not perfect. We all have blind spots. And if you treat me with respect, I will always be open to look at myself in honesty, to see where I can better myself. But miss me with all that other bullshit, because I'm not stupid. Neither I'm sensitive or available for projections of others. I will never ever turn my essence into baby food for people that cannot even process one thought of truth without choking. We all have skeletons in our closet. The only difference is that I am honest about them. Because if your life would be played on a big screen in a football stadium with thousands of people, I know that there are a couple of things that you don't want to be on there. Can you imagine? Some people would be so screwed if that would happen. If that would be a possibility. How many people fit in a stadium? Like 30,000 on a big screen your whole life. I'm sure that there would be more than a couple of things you don't want to be on there. Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I lie? I did not lie. Yeah, whole intense, but did I lie? But guess what? There's always something watching. We cannot escape the Ethernet, Chula. As long as people feel the need to judge others fueled by their own shortcomings. They are not free, and they have lots of work to do. Most people couldn't even stand in my shoes for 1 minute. I am truly the strongest person I know. At the same time, I can completely surrender to life. Feel everything, the full scope of existence. What I feel most time, most people will never understand. And I'm not a victim at all. I'm just here to be honest. And to tell you, you're not crazy. You might be part of the most sane people in the world. And I touched on this before, but my whole life I was begging and dying to be loved, to be seen. And when it came to my relationship, I couldn't receive it. But also in my relationships, I didn't feel fully seen. And the intentions were pure. But the reason was because I didn't see myself. And now, for the first time I do. I think I'm absolutely magnificent. Not because I'm arrogant, but because where I came from and what I still choose to be. It wasn't easy at all. It took me a long time to get here, because I have extremely high expectations of myself. And I'm wise enough to know that I'm not better than anyone else. But I'm also no longer blind to who I am and what I'm capable of. It might not look like it, but I'm a very private person. I did everything to stay behind the scenes, but I don't move by logic. And on top of that, I had to become visible in a language that isn't even my own. But I had to, because my message gets trapped within my own language when it comes to my experience and the things that I share. My English is far from perfect, but you need some balls to get visible in a language that isn't even your own. I had to learn everything by ear. But even when it was 80% worse than it is now, I used to dream in it, think in it. Very strange. It's the etymology of English. It just makes so much more sense. And language is very important. It's a vehicle. English is the language that has the capacity to make my voice travel differently than my own language. I feel like throughout the history, languages got split up and mixed, and they got lost in translation. You cannot tie words back to their original meaning anymore. But it's funny, because in my own language, I unlock a whole new personality. It's still me, but the range is completely different. It obviously also has to do with culture and humor and all that stuff. But outside my country, no one will understand me. And therefore, it's very limited. I just don't care about just sounding intelligent. Expression and emotion has a way larger field than just language. I care about expression, translation of the soul, the motives, the view and the architecture behind the person. When you are in deep devotion to your being, when you speak from that place, you start to recognize the ones that live from it too. You have to see yourself past anything that dilutes it. Know yourself. Explore your devotion, and you will be able to find the right tools that come closest to the ability of translating your essence. So how do we make a shift? Let's go a little bit deeper into what we often tell ourselves when it comes to visibility. Because if you feel invisible within your life or within the world, maybe it's not because others don't see you. Maybe it's that you have made yourself invisible on purpose. Because if you tell yourself consistently, nobody sees me, nobody understands me, I'm too deep, I'm too intense, I'm too unique, could it be that you have engineered your invisibility as a form of control, because being misunderstood is painful? So maybe you have chosen mystery over mastery. Or you end up with having minimal boundaries, because you want to be everything for everyone. No. We don't do that, because we understand and understand that leads to misery and being seen even less. Then you just keep attracting wrong relationships and the wrong people because you are avoiding a healthy relationship with the self. And your relationships will always be a reflection of how deep you know, see, and love yourself. I didn't feel seen in my relationships the way I needed because I didn't see myself. Maybe you attract avoidant partners because you are afraid of fully being seen too. Everything is a mirror of how you show up in the world. If you don't see yourself, the world has no reason to. Until you know your essence and your design, embrace yourself with the courage and the strength to walk in integrity with who you really are, you will keep shape-shifting between different archetypes, throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that some of it will stick. And if you want more clarity, I suggest you to walk through the 5 gates. Link is in the description. When we stay in that energy, we keep telling ourselves that we don't want more out of life. And we have to be grateful, yes. But gratefulness must not be used as a weapon against ourselves. To accept things that we know pretty damn well are unacceptable. If things are good, perfect. But if not, stop lying to yourself that you are at peace with how things are. Maybe you have succeeded in making yourself believe that. But it's not real peace. It's artificial peace. It is the peace of avoidance, of not having to confront yourself, with only one result, and that is that you will die with your music still inside of you. And that is that you will die with your music still inside of you. You make the shift when you fully accept that visibility comes with a risk in any area. Within your own life, fully visible, but also within the world. It always comes with a risk. And then consciously choose that risk. Because invisibility, whether in your own life or in the world, comes with a bigger one. Disconnection from your essence, from your purpose. You start with making absolutely everything visible to the self first. Meaning shining a light on everything you have been trying to hide in the dark. Don't be scared of it. Be aware of it. If you can pull something out of the dark back into your awareness, you gain back control. Reclaim all parts of yourself with honesty, curiosity, and compassion. Claim everything that makes you different than others because it has been given to you with a reason. Without it, you wouldn't be able to do what you exactly came here to do. You have to stop comparing your unique being to someone else. It's madness. It's like buying an apple and then get mad that it isn't an orange. Cut it out. Cut it out like a coupon. Stop observing others, doubting yourself, and then spiraling back into your 10th rebirth this month. If you don't see yourself, no one else will. Some will understand and others don't. But if you deeply know yourself, you know that you being you serves a purpose for everyone who is ready for it. A baker isn't very interesting to me because I don't eat a lot of cake. But it doesn't mean that I need to hold a strong opinion towards a baker. It means that I can still appreciate the art of them being devoted in foreseeing others in their needs. I am all there is. I am all there can be. In the whole universe, there's only one me. You standing in your truth will always be met with projections. People don't see you. They see their level of consciousness. That is what they project on you. People are going to say that you are judgmental when you have values they cannot live up to. People are so predictable these days. Everyone has the right to defend that dusty way of moving through life. But as soon as they get confronted with someone who values different things, they have to attack and minimize it so they can feel better about their own stagnation. For me, it's very easy. If you think that I'm intense or too much, then it's obvious to me that you don't like to be confronted with where you still have space to grow. And there's a lack of emotional intelligence to identify your own triggers and just feel what happens from the inside instead of throwing a hot potato. Oh, it's too hot. Why did you throw the potato at me? Why did you catch the fucking potato? Why don't you scroll away? Or try to figure out why it feels so hot? I'm just here transmitting my own life experience. Definitely in a way that people aren't used to, because it's raw, it's honest, it's open. While most people are still hiding, seeing being invisible as being safe. There are a lot of people that I don't necessarily agree with, but as long as they don't hurt others, I will never dislike them with no reason, especially not if they are in some kind of way contributing to the collective, even if it's not in my way or the way that I would do it. But everyone is unique, and the way that they do it reaches other type of people. As long as the work is done, we are in this together. I will never ever bash someone that's trying to make this world a better place, so that others can live in it with more comfort. I could have done that better. You have to do better, said the person who never does shit. And I don't mean that in a degenerate way. Oh well, maybe I did. We should look at who someone is when all earthly matters get stripped away. When there's no money, no visibility, no outside validation. Who are you? That's what I'm interested in. I always conceptualize things in my head so I can see more clearly. And this is what I see. You have 4 types of people. You have reality benders, you have the lurkers, the weeds, and the scavengers. Reality benders, they construct their own reality. They only move within the space of their own influence. They are the innovators, the builders, the creators, the creatives. They don't see themselves as victims of life. They take full responsibility of everything that happens in their life, and they use what has been given to them. They are the alchemists. Lurkers aren't necessarily bad. They are just observers, or they are busy within their own life, they are not clear on their own path yet, they are watching others. And some of them are just consuming without creating, but they don't mean harm. Then you have weeds. They are the worst. And let me be clear, it is because disconnection from source. They have no idea that they are part of a bigger whole, destroying the whole garden. Well, they are a piece of the same garden. But everything is functional, so I would like to say they are strength testers. A strong flower won't let weeds stop itself from blooming. The weed simply exposes whether the flower is strong enough to grow. It's an ecosystem. Because how able are you to stand firm in your truth? Are you still able to flourish despite the weeds? They are miserable. They just want to pull you down and prevent beautiful flowers from growing into their full potential, so they can feel better about wasting their own. And now you know what they are. Will you let them? And then you have scavengers. They live off scrap. They live off scraps. They don't build anything themselves. They didn't find their own creative power yet. They watch, copy others, latch onto opportunities created by others. They often work normal jobs, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with a normal job. Nothing. As long as you are deeply devoted to your craft and you feel fulfilled. It's beautiful. I watch people doing their jobs with tears in my eyes because they are so devoted. I deeply respect that. But scavengers often work unfulfilling jobs. And they don't do anything to change that. They just accept it and hide behind "I'm grateful," while slowly dying from the inside. So if they are negative towards you or they leave negative comments, it comes from internal resentment. But just like shrimps and pigs, scavengers within society aren't bad. They are functional. The question shouldn't be, is it bad, but do I want to be one? That's how I always know who will make it in life. Make it, whatever that means to you. If you can simply listen without getting triggered and ask yourself, which one am I? Then you are already ahead of the game. If you realize I'm a lurker, if you realize I'm a lurker, Listen, there's nothing wrong with a lurker. Watching is not forbidden. It's not illegal. But the question should be, do I want to be a lurker or do I want to be something else? It's very simple, isn't it? Do I actually want to be a lurker or do I want to be something else? So then I can start figuring out which steps I can take to become what I actually want to be in life. How simple is that? Isn't that super duper simple? It is either you recognize yourself in it or you don't. And in case of the latter, it wouldn't trigger you, like one bit. Better said, you would be thankful for the mirror. We all have blind spots. There's nothing wrong with it. Because if you keep avoiding things, if you keep avoiding the truth of who you are, it will build up inside of you and you become a weed. Because you don't like yourself. Being negative about others, towards others, or negatively commenting on others that don't do anything wrong is externalized internal resentment. Yeah, I'm just being honest. No, you're not just being honest. You are leaking resentment out of every corner. Here, 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 here. Miss me with that bullshit. You think I cannot smell the unprocessed rage through all that Palo Santo? Constructive feedback does not have the goal to pull another human being down. So now we know this, we just have to make a decision. Who do I want to be? Who do I choose to be? And then just be that. And you will never have to worry about being visible ever again, in any kind of way. Let's make it visual. Oh, look at this ugly fat piece of shit. Cringe! Cringe! You know what's cringe? Dying as a weed, with your dream still inside of you. That's the most cringe thing you can do. When the light goes out, it's a waiting game. Never gonna see the day where your world will change. We don't know these people. We don't know their stories. It could be the most loving and warm-hearted person in the world, serving his community and his family like no one else does. Think about it. Think about it. Why would you ever want to be part of that? Why would anybody ever want to be part of that? Even if it's just the way people think, there's something wrong with them. Like seriously wrong with them. And I feel sorry for them. Where I come from, everything is schandalig. Schandalig! Moet je die van de hoek zien? Schandalig! Schandalig zeg hé. It means ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous. What others do. Doe maar normaal. Judging everybody. But most people are not able to look at their own shit. Sometimes I look at it, it's like, it's so ugly. But I get it. It's what they need to do to distract themselves from their miserable lives. It doesn't ask anything from you to be like that. It's externalized internal self-hate. Especially older ones that are bullying the younger ones. Even if they make mistakes. The things that I came across are just disgusting. People that are just trying to do something for themselves. You think that's easy? It's not easy. It just breaks my heart. Every time I see that, I really have to hold myself back. Because if I speak on that moment, I will say things that people will never recover from. Criticism isn't a rite of passage. And being older doesn't mean that your voice is more valid, especially not if it's soaked in projection. Elder people are not just wiser because they have survived their lives. They are wiser when they choose to break the cycle and to speak life in those who are just entering it. So what happens if you let go? If you see yourself, you don't need it from others, and that puts you in a very powerful position. I don't need to be seen. I cover that job for myself. I'm here to be felt and to be appreciated. But even if people don't feel me, I don't make it mean anything about me. I don't expect myself to be perfect. I expect myself to be real and to have fun while being it. All of this is as real as it gets. When you stop judging others, you free yourself from your own mental cage. Because judgment doesn't reveal who other people are. It reveals what you haven't accepted within yourself. Why should we hide ourselves until we are perfected? Aren't we missing the point that way? The journey is the result. They cannot be separated from each other. Trying to do that before you deem yourself worthy enough to be seen is what keeps you stuck in life. Which sane person would laugh at another person that is genuinely trying to become better in life? Weeds. Weeds. But we don't let ourselves held back by weeds because we are beautiful flowers on our way to fully bloom. Again, some people will not understand you. That means it's not for them. Keep it moving. You just have to become extremely clear on your values and let yourself be guided by them. Don't make a them problem a you problem. I personally don't care about the bag of flesh too much. It's what's in it, especially when people trying too hard, as if it's their whole persona. It's like, what are you trying to hide or to compensate? We should be way more interested to meet the soul behind it, like what drives you? What are your intentions? What sets your heart on fire? What are your desires, your dreams? I personally love people that are able to show themselves in imperfection. It shows me that you can be vulnerable. And that to me is what I trust more than the whole facade of having it all together. None of us does. It's okay to just let it go sometimes. Let it go, surrender, cry it out. Do you want a hug? No, but for real, it's so simple. When you let go, there are no more places to tuck the parts of yourself that once got misunderstood, envied, laughed at, shamed, underestimated. And that kind of unapologetic visibility is spiritual liberation, Chula. What you are feeling isn't the lack of readiness. It is the tension between the persona that you have created to stay safe and your soul that knows who you really are. You have to stabilize yourself and get grounded within the self. So after every interaction, if you feel triggered, you can simply ask yourself, is it true? Is it true? Because if something triggers you, it simply means that it needs your attention. And by pointing that attention inwards, you take your power back. You have these people that think that everything is about them. In any conversation, they pull everything towards themselves. Whatever you say, they will make it mean something about themselves. It means that they are super ungrounded in who they are and that they have learned to consistently look out for danger in everything. If you stand in your truth and your values, what is there to be scared about? For example, one of my biggest values is truth. So as long as I speak the truth, I have nothing to worry about. And I can always check in with myself simply asking, but was it true? And if the answer is yes, I don't worry about anything. More than often, it isn't the case that people reject you. They reject the things that they don't want to address within the self, or they reject the work that they have to do to be in your presence. That's all that is. Because you don't mess around. You require honesty, and you are serious about yourself and about life. For me, this doesn't mean that I don't joke around, but I definitely don't play. Just to give you another perspective, when you become visible in the full capacity of who you are, and you don't give people what they expect, it's deeply disorienting. Disoriental. When you don't give people what they expect, it's disoriental. I'm lost. I'm tired. They are disorientated. Whatever. You know what I mean. If you hold clarity in who you are and what you stand for, it's very threatening for people who aren't living from that space. Just by you being you, they feel where they are still performing, where they are still playing roles, where they are out of alignment. They feel where they are still faking things, and that is fucking terrifying. It feels unsafe to people when you become less predictable, when you don't bend yourself to fit in, when you don't act nice to be liked. Because most people do. And when you move through the world with inner authority, from your inner guidance system, it's very destabilizing for people who are still relying on outside validation. Most people expect small talk, emotional leakage to build connection. And when you step outside of that circle, you become an outsider. When you become visible in any kind of way, you need to protect yourself, you need to protect your energy. You need to be very careful with which people you let in. Place everyone where they belong to begin with. Strangers on the internet are just that. They don't know you. All other people, check the data. How do they move through life? It's easy to be loyal when everything is great. Pay attention only to the ones that are actually put in the effort to get to know you. The rest is noise, ruis. You have to be able to cut that out. Let people call you cold, intense, judgmental, whatever. They just don't want to deal with the mirror. Most people only see their own value when others see it. It makes them extremely dependent, and with that, very unstable. We can always hold space and have compassion for others if they approach us with respect. But don't let anyone project their own unhealed waste onto you. Ever. Make sure that you are a clean vessel for truth. Know who you are and what you stand for, and your voice will be free. If you do that, embody that, integrate that, visibility won't be scary. That's why you have to walk through the 5 gates. It's going to change everything for you. The only thing you should check is it true? Does this feel true within my heart? That's why I said I can see you without knowing you. Because if you realize, seeing with your real eyes, which is the heart, you can see everyone. And the ones that don't see you didn't realize that yet. And that's okay. The eyes in your head are not your real eyes. They are projectors of the mind. Think about it. What's on your mind? People don't see you. They see their level of awareness. And there's nothing you can ever change about that. There's no amount of hiding, there's no amount of staying invisible that will protect you from it. None. You are not here to fit the mold. You are an echo of something that transcends this world. You will thrive when you return to the self that was there before you decided that staying invisible was worth the risk of not being fully alive. You have to see yourself long before anyone else does. That is what keeps you going. I make it look easy, but all of this is anything but the result of ease. Don't expect it to be easy, because you will be in for a surprise. Don't accept it to be easy, accept it to be harder, so you can brace yourself with the courage and the strength to follow through when life and being seen in the full capacity of who you are asks a little more of you. Get out your shell. It's time. So now we have came to the end, almost. I want to leave you with 3 questions, as per usual. Question 1. What parts of myself am I still hiding, and which meaning did I attach to the criticism that I'm afraid of? Which parts of myself am I still hiding, and which meaning have I attached to the criticism that I'm afraid of? Question 2. What would I share with people around me if I wasn't scared of fully being seen? What would I share with the people around me if I wasn't scared of fully being seen? Question 3. How would my life and the life of others change if I would stop making myself smaller and become fully visible with what I know? How would my life and the life of others change if I would stop making myself smaller and become fully visible with what I know? Because you are so much more than you think. You are so valued, and the world needs you exactly as you are. So stop hiding yourself. Doubting yourself means to doubt God. So cut out the noise and start having the audacity to show up exactly as you are. And keep in mind that you must make the invisible visible to give it new life. You have to make the unseen visible in order to feel safe with being visible. Everybody wants to be seen, but do you want to be known? And I don't say it's everyone's path to become visible to the public, but this is about becoming visible within your own life. And sometimes becoming visible to yourself means becoming visible to the world. That's it for now. Ik ga het hierbij laten. Honor your inner space. Say, I see myself in all that I am, and I carry myself with grace. If something moved in you, don't let it pass. Anchor it in the comments. Let this be your first step of making yourself visible. And let me know that you were here from the very beginning of this journey, because it's going to be a good one. Ciao. Ciao. Hey there, you. Looking for a brighter season. Need to lay your burden down. Need to lay your burden down. When the light goes out, it's a waiting game. Never gonna see the day where your world will change. Now sing to the moon and the stars will shine over you, lead you to the other side. Now sing to